Top of the morning, ladies. My name is Jazz, and welcome to the second part of What If Deku was, or actually, it was like between dimension thing, like two different Dekus in two different situations. So the time introduces himself to Class 1A as a like like substitute, like helping the main teacher. So then the all that stuff. But the moving on to a more alternate, like super alternate version where Zuko, this is the other part. So part 2, I'm covering the him talking to his friends, ghosts, and like spirits kind. So basically, he had this power from like for quite a long time. Even no one even knows that why that he does that. So it's similar, but actually he was being total weird. Oh, heck, his own mother abandoned him. Then he had a quirk called Ghost, so he talks to ghosts. So he has no friends, and his mother abandoned him and had two girls. One was her, one was her. I was gonna say 3, but then I was like, So basically, Zuko went to UA and he didn't get any friends, so he's like, okay. But everyone ignored him, like, nah. As he was like, okay. As he threw a ball really, really hard, like with all of his might, as he threw the ball all the way to infinity, like unbelievable. And Shiraki, I'm skipping the heroes versus villains because there's Jay. Yeah. Yeah. The Nomu who went and attacked, or he actually walked up to Zuko and instead of like roaring at him like real loud, like, hey, how are you doing? As everyone's confused, like, wait, okay. As the as he, or so they are like, okay. As everyone looks at him like, okay. And so Zuko, or no, actually, Shiraki-sen says, Nomu, quit social life, you dang beast, you stupid zombie, or monster. As when he heard that, he says, excuse me for a moment, as he runs all the way to Shiraki-sen and starts attacking him. Like ripping off his arms and uppercutting him in the chest, and as Racerhead, or no, not Racerhead, 13 now knows, or now has noticed that he is unharmed. Like him talk, or sorry, he, or they thought he was like gonna die, but turns out they just, as 13 walks over, or runs over to Zuko and tells him, what's your quirk? As he says, I really don't know what my quirk is, but it's just so weird. As a Nomu already took care of the Shiraki-sen and walked all the way back, and both of so all the class 1A students walked out, or like ran out, but the door closed, or like as the Nomu says, let me do it, Zuko, as he says, okay, boom, as they're all like freaking out, like, why is the Nomu helping us? He should have be villain, like da da da. As he says, can you please tell them to like be quiet about that? As he said sure. As he turns to his classmates and says he doesn't like it to be called a Nomu, or be called a villain. So as so as then Nomu, who is spirit, right, went into Zuko. So now he's the talkative one. So all my like went and killed the poor man. As he says, poor soul. That's his name, Soul. As he looks at so 13's like, wait, his name's Soul? Yeah. So the so now as he so no, there's two quirks doctors in this what if in his universe. So Recover Girl and the one that works with the So the recovery girl was surprised. His quirk is actually, or the little girl, her, the one that's right next to Deku, says to Zuko, "You have this connection," as because the recovery girl was also the attribute thing, so he so she told Zuko that he has self revival quirk, regeneration quirk, power enhance quirk, and puppeteer quirk. But the one thing that I find most interesting about you is your attribute is the undead attribute. As he says, "What do you mean? I'm like dead or something like that?" No, no, no. You talk to dead people. As when All Might heard about that, or no, Mr. Azal or Class 1A heard that he has a undead power. Is it is he like is it the same thing as like Dark Shadows, or yeah, similar, but you can talk to it or talk to them, and you could even bring them back to life too, if and control them as puppets. Wow. As Momo was like, okay, that's just weird. As All Might, or actually the girl that was the one that's on the other side that is wearing all blue, her, she whispers into Zuko's ear and tells him, or tells to tell All Might that she's sorry for her. As, okay, as someone, or actually All Might heard about that, as he says, "What did the spirit say?" As he looks at All Might, and he basically told him that his like master is very proud of you, and she is sorry for not being there when you gave your quirk to some other person. As All Might says, "Tell her that I'm okay with it. After all, she taught me a lot of things about it." So, as the his own sisters, like her and her, heard about what Zuko or their classmate has. So after school they told Inko about what Zuko has. But Zuko or Inko is like, what do you mean? He has the undead ability inside of him. As they both said, well, he has the undead ability that allows him to talk to undead people, basically spirits. Right. So basic, or she's like, she couldn't believe that or when she heard about that, like, what's your classmate's name? As they, it's Zuku Midoriya, or Zuku, as she breaks down crying, like, my, or she almost said, my son has that ability and regeneration, self revival, and all that stuff inside of his body. Should have paid more attention to his calmness. As so, then the time went on as the now the sports festival goes totally different. So the ghost of his actually took him, or in the race thing, as he uses his special ability, and his costume is like that. As they were like, okay. As he won the first round, the and the cavalry battle, and so him against the brain dude. Really wish it there's so the against the oh here he is against him is totally different from canon, like totally, like basically the non or her the Naja, I think her name is Naja, or she she he says, let's have some fun, shall we? Of course. As she ends up, or he, like, had a power, so he basically made her a new body. And so, like a doll part. As it was, when All Might saw her face again, he almost, like, or he, like, almost cried. And when everybody saw, like, wait, so, of course, that brain dude says, guess your quirk is almost similar to that Chick-fil-A or the to Momo's but instead, as he says, not exactly. See, I have every quirk, but I also have this unique attribute of the undead. When in when he heard that, he was like, okay. As of course the Razorhead said, or actually Music Mike says, wait, so the undead hero is Zuko. So he basically says, yep. As he says, ready to begin? As he says, yep. As both of them were so coordinated enough that I it was unbelievable. Like he punched as he like kicked that guy, but during the same time at the villain's base, All for One saw Zuko's power and he wanted to take it. Like he says, just imagine me conjuring the entire army without any like backlash. So basically, when every time, of course, the Grim Reaper always like, oh, all right, let me. So, oh, don't worry about the dogs and. Okay, so the 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 when he saw her face again, he, she or he like guess she's back from the dead, aren't? As or actually Grim Reaper told him or told or actually instead of giving like so he had basically every time someone dies they end up going into Zuko's body basically instead of going to the underworld or as he so they're like okay and Todoroki's fight against him is like boom. And I'm skipping that part, so going right to the the camp arc because then during the exam or internships, Zuko basically or so his own mother, abandoned mother, That's what I. She basically walked to try or go to where her son's at. As so, Inko, sorry, saw her like son talking to his dead friends. As he So he says, or she says that Zuko, who? And is that you? And as he turns around and sees, yes, it's me. May I help you? As as she says, sorry about wasn't in the right head. So let me about it. So basically, he says that you're okay. As so the two souls have died too. And so they went into Zuku. Guess what those two souls are. Or it was Koda's parents. So he's gathering up more and more souls. So and internships. Of course, only person that finds this kind of cute thing is actually her. The one that's in the middle. I always forget her name, but she finds Zuko so adorable when he talks to his undead friends. Because sometimes she actually peeks. Inks. Like he just like looks or she looks at him. Sorry, I was itching my nose. So then, because she likes creepy stuff, or she loves creepy people to hang out with. So she actually hung out with Zuko. Then when the camp during the camp arc, they all had, or they first they went to a mall as Inko, or not Inko, the four spirits of his, like those two, and or actually five, because of Tinya's brother was murdered by Hero Killer Stain. But Zuko stopped him from treating and ends up not getting killed, but he got knocked out. And so then everybody found him creepy, but only two people doesn't find him creepy at all. Toga and that girl from Class 1B. Her. But he, sorry. So, because Toga knows that Zuko it acts so innocently, but she wasn't a villain, so she was in Class 1B with her, and so both of them were best friends before. So if they fight over something, they're like basically intrigued. So but and the sorry, but one of them, like her, not her with white hair, and that sorry, when it was just both of them, as they both had their like embarrassing moments things. So Toga told himself or told herself that because when every time she sees Zuko doing something that's cool, of course she basically wanted to bear his child in her. Basically like that stuff. Okay? And her that sometimes has understood Toga really well. That white haired girl right there. She says, I understand that you want his kids. She whispers it to her. Man, he's already are mine. As they both like it was like both tensions like pull each other's or pull Zuko apart. Like mine kind. But of course she says, "What are you two talking or like talking about? Be honest with me." She was in Class 1A and she knows her brother really well. So, as they said, please keep a secret from your brother. As, what do you mean by that? As his own, like, other sister was with her at the time. As they both like said they both said first, who does he like? Me or Toga? That's what she's saying. Like, does he like? Me or Toga? That's so she. So they're like, okay, what is this going to? As if we had as he or she says, as we would if one of us had to date him, like got married and had children's things with him. As they as she says, well, okay, I'm trying to debate. So did her sister, because her brother doesn't know that they are like loved on him. So basically, if I had a, or if I was my brother, I would have picked because he likes both of you. But if he had to choose one, and it would have to be like it's just so hard for my brother to pick if because so they actually in this timeline there was a student in class 1B that had a fusion quirk. So they could fuse bodies and quirks or bodies, but they have their own separate quirks. So 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 they asked him to fuse their both both because actually both or the fusion quirk is under so they do a hint and they mean a like it kind of made like kind of like what her is but without a purple skin and that tail and that only as Himigo mystery because they both know that Zuko wouldn't be able to. So, sorry. So basically, how about climb that mountain? Okay. As he trained hard, much harder than he was the first one up. Oh, so he did all that stuff, and now he. So the random chick walked, or actually was a single one, to him. So she literally walked up to him and asked him on to go on a date with him, or to her. So basically, it was both of them fused into one. As she says, yep, or he says, yeah, okay. As because they both agree. So they start, or he has a sword that can channel his ghost into living entities, kind. Basically, like spirits, kind, in their spirit form. So, basically, he does really good in combat. So, Zuko got captured, and basically, they tried to take away his quirk, but one of his other abilities is, or actually, his ghost friends, like her and her, went and killed basically everybody, like Dobby, like all of that. Plus, Musclear accidentally got killed by Zuko, or he got accidentally got killed, and now he's is in his arsenal instead of having that big mark thing. He has like that. So then they're like, okay. So then he like did all that, all of it, not just half of it, all of it. And during All for One's fight thing, the turn your volume up. So basically, Zuko, or of course, All Might got like, he got beaten down, but not got killed. So then, so the spirits of his, like he had six, or wait, 2, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, six spirits in him. And all six of them agreed that, so they're so coordinated enough that he used his power, and he got knocked into the wall as it was his perfect time. So he basically blew half of the awful words by ID on Wayne. Remember that? So Zuko, he got like slammed into a wall too hard and he got killed. But he had the self revival quirk. So basically he came right back. Eh? No questions asked. As he used his blade and cut him down and all that stuff. And basically, Zuko was, or basically, All for One got defeated by, you guessed it, by Zuko, who and his ghostly friends. So, and so I'm skipping the like overhaul thing, and this is where I'm gonna leave it or left, because his power got crazier and he was done. He was just totally done. And so this is the end of the video, and before I go, YouTube, don't demonetize me, okay? Or shown that picture. So, have fun, be safe, and catch you guys and girls away.